I say this with love, but I will probably never watch this film ever again. This is one of the scariest films I've seen in years. It terrified me in more ways than one, so it's like a one and done situation for me personally. I know I'll frequently think about this film from time to time when something reminds me of it, but I never want to experience that again. And that to me, honestly, is the real marker for if a film is actually scary, if I never want to see it again because one time was traumatizing enough. But let's get into why this film hooked me, because there isn't just one reason why this film is scary. There are several elements. There are those terrifying recordings, there's the incredible and ominous sound design and score, there's the main character struggles with what she's going through in her personal life, which I'll touch on in a minute because it's a lot. The house itself is also a character. And fun fact, the reason why it feels so lived in is because it's the director's childhood home. The same house he cared for his dying parents in, which the film mirrors because Evie, the main character, is caring for her dying mother. And as if that's not sadistic enough, the research they do about classic children's songs and how most of them have these horrendous double meanings or insane history will have me forever side-eyeing anyone who sings them. The film also touches on how creepy Catholic statues and folklore is, which personally I've always found incredibly eerie. And it deals heavily with Evie's journey of grief because while her mother is technically alive, she's in this like vegetative state, in a coma, just like waiting to die. And as someone who's dealt with caring and being around a loved one who was going through this fairly recently, it hit me so hard. It's actually a really heartbreaking aspect of the film until the very end where everything went to shit, and not in a bad way, just like in the scariest way possible. And because of this, as well as a few other things which I won't spoil, Evie is having a really hard time sleeping, which leads her to have these like terrifying dreams. But it also creates this like really interesting juxtaposition because she's usually the skeptical one in the podcast dynamic between her and her friend. And while she's trying to figure out if these hallucinations and strange things are just a product of her lack of sleep and stress, we're finding out along with them that these recordings are so much more sinister than they could have ever imagined. Needless to say, with the sound design being at the forefront of what makes this film absolutely horrifying, if you can go to a screening in Dolby, it's so worth it. It'll just make the experience that much more immersive. And this one is definitely a must watch if you love horror. Me, personally, I'm good. I'm gonna go watch a Disney movie now so that I can get some sleep.